Ah, The Mask. Thank goodness we live in a world where nothing could taint its legacy. Sure, the effects are a bit dated. It is very 90s-esque, and it was based on a far more macabre comic book series, but it's a product of its time. I'm sure everyone looks back on it with fond memories. Wait a minute!
Now where did he go?
What is this?
They call me Cuba Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Sorry guys, I can't think of any pros to this film, and the con list would be so long it would challenge the length of an audiobook of the Bible. The Mask sequel had been being discussed for a while since the original film came out. However, I think Son of the Mask is the worst route the writers and studio could have gone down. The visuals are uncanny valley and disturbing, the plot is contrived, the jokes are insulting to the audience's intelligence, and the acting is subpar. Son of the Mask centers around an idiotic man-child named Tim and his wife who are expecting a baby that Tim doesn't want, as well as Loki who needs to get the mask so he doesn't get in trouble with his dad or something. So Tim wears the mask to a Halloween party under the suggestion of his wife, as his costume sucks. What comes next is a good example that encompasses all of my criticisms from this film. The notorious nightclub scene. Why does his hair, no his entire face, look plastic? I guess the addition of hair was a design choice to try and make his character look different to Jim Carrey's Mask character, but evidently this was not a good decision. The scene opens with an awful effect of him leaving a limousine, before what I can assume is an attempt at wordplay.
ID?
No ID, no party.
Where did the wife put that invitation?
ID, not IV.
Excuse me. My bad.
Why does he put the phrase "my bad" in air quotes? It makes no sense. I guess this is an attempt to establish, ooh, he's such a joker, ooh, he doesn't mean it, but it doesn't really come across well through the makeup and the acting, and I don't even think a child would find this funny, which is the target audience, so it just comes across as pure, unadulterated cringe.
Cringe.
There is then an onslaught onto the audience's sensibilities, a genre-bending cover of the song Too Good to Be True.
French City in the house. What? This is the part where you dance. This is the part where you boogie. This is the part where you dance. Shake your booty.
This scene is a perfect display of what Son of the Mask represents. Trying to capitalize off an original idea's success and not understanding what is popular and what an audience wants. I'm guessing this was this film's attempt at trying to recreate the Cuban Pete scene from the original The Mask, but that was a police shootout with good acting, and this is a Halloween party where they can't even sync the mask's voice up to his lips. The wife gets weird cravings and then gives birth to the baby or whatever. There is then an odd subplot where Tim has to take care of the aforementioned baby, he wants to drive his father insane for no explained reason, and the dog wants to kill the baby due to jealousy, and dons a mask for a while to compete with him, all while Loki is searching for the fucking baby due to him having mask powers.
Alright, motherfucker, so a couple weeks ago I shot the fucking dog.
During this subplot, there is a scene where the infant, the titular Son of the Mask, urinates multiple streams while his father Tim tries to change him. This is comedy, apparently. Loki gets his powers taken away from him by Odin, just to have them returned to him, but kidnaps the baby to hold it for ransom or something, and then Tim and his family have to get him back. Loki refuses to return the baby.
I've grown attached.
Hey, we had a deal.
I'm the god of friggin' mischief. What did you expect?
And so he and mask-clad Tim have a fight to the death, before Tim gives some spiel about family, so Loki and Odin kiss and make up. I hate this film. Son of the Mask has to be one of the worst children's films I've ever had the displeasure of laying my eyes on, and I've seen plenty of films in my time. Full of awful early 2000s CGI, toilet humour that an embryo wouldn't find funny, and nightmarish Lynchian visuals, I wouldn't dream of showing this 94-minute horror feature, loosely associated with the word film, to any child. Okay, in all seriousness, Son of the Mask is highly disappointing as it lacks all of the charm and heart that was in the original film. However, aside from all those issues with the film established throughout the video, it was set up to fail, in my opinion, due to the casting of the main character. Jamie Kennedy is just not a good casting choice for the Mask character in comparison to Jim Carrey. He is too stiff and the special effects can only do so much. Jim Carrey is a very animated actor, and the Mask is a very cartoony character, making him a perfect casting choice. It's honestly quite disappointing as Jamie Kennedy was a decent upcoming actor at the time, and has shown he can be funny, just not with this style of comedy and bad writing. A good example of this would be his performance of the character Randy Meeks in the 1996 meta-comedy horror film, Scream by Wes Craven, leading him to acquire the title of fan favourite. I also found the plot with Loki and Odin unnecessary, as the Mask wasn't even originally of Norse origin, but I suppose that has been retconned away now. The cinematography is pretty bland in parts, and the use of a wide lens is wasted due to the visual of characters' faces being way too close to the camera, and this is particularly noticeable during the aforementioned too good to be true scene. I don't know what the director was smoking when he thought that was a good idea. Overall, Son of the Mask is pretty much just another crappy sequel made by a film team, using a bunch of moments from the original film hoping for success, while at the same time not understanding why those things made the original film popular in the first place. I thought the message of the film, be loving and understanding towards your family, was a pretty good moral for kids, but that's as far as my praise for this film goes. The saddest part is the budget for it was more than the budget for the original film, and we still got this drivel. With an audience score of 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.2 on IMDb, I'm sure the majority will agree with me.
Orange City in the house. What? This is the part where you dance. This is the part where you boogie. This is the part where you dance. Shake your booty, shake your pants like this, shake your pants. Shake it, shake it, shake your pants like this, shake your pants. Ladies, let me hear you.
You're just too good to be true. Yeah, good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby. You feel like having a touch. I wanna hold you so much. Yeah. At long last, love has arrived. Thank God I'm alive. You're too good to be true. Can't take my eyes. Can't take my eyes off of you. Yo.
Autumn way that I stare.